right, so thank you for joining me for this video. I wanted to talk to you guys about Sky from Black Ink Crew. Now, we know that there were rumors about Sky giving up her children for adoption at one point during the show, and then she confirmed that she did in fact give her children up for adoption. The crazy part was that it was rumored that she had given her children up for adoption as they came out of the womb. And then once she introduced us to the concept of her getting her kids back on the show, we were very happy for that. At that point, she didn't go for it. She waited years once again to go and get in contact with her children. So it turns out years later, up on her youngest son turning 18 years old, she decided to take us with her on Black Ink Crew cameras to go and see about her children. Her sons then revealed to us that they remembered being raised by her, that she did not give them up from inception, from birth, and that she actually spent some time raising her kids and then suddenly decided to give them away. Well, Sky has recently been sitting down talking, and she's been getting into the nitty-gritty of exactly what went on in regards to her giving her kids up for adoption. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I might go in a little bit on her in this video, so let me warn y'all, because I don't agree with the way that she was getting down or the way that she does get down. And I think that her whole interview with Jason Lee was just based on her probably needing some money at this point. Let's keep it real. She literally doesn't talk to her kids even today. She has no relationship with her sons even today. So we're going to get into that. I want you guys to hear what...
How old were you when you had Genesis and Daz?
I was 14 and 15.
You was 14 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
And you made the decision to give both of them up for adoption.
Yeah, while I was locked up. My mother made that decision for me.
So talk to me about that.
Well, my mother, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and she was going through a lot while I was locked up. I'm 19 at the time. They were my responsibility. I didn't give my kids up for adoption straight out of my womb, straight out of the womb. I wanted to raise them, but I was still moving them around crazy.
So you had your kids when you, okay.
Yeah, I had my kids. I tried to be a mother to them, raise them at one point in my life. And when I realized, my mother was taking care of them when I was doing a bid when I was 19. And she fell on hard times during that bid. And she said it was a nice Christian family, that it was hard for them to biologically have kids, and they already had adopted children already in their care and all this other shit. And I was like, okay. She told me about it. She said they was going there on the weekends, and then she stopped going over there. So that's why me and my mother relationship was like on some other shit. But I'm my only child, I still got to take care of her. When it came down to when I came home, she told me about this family, and I see they keeping my sons together. They got their own room. There's names in the back of the pool. The family is getting along. Mom, dad look like honest people. That's when I signed over my rights.
Was that a difficult decision for you to make at that time?
I mean, yeah. Hell yeah, those my kids.
Yeah.
But then you like, I already know I just came home from jail. I'm about to go on a run. I already knew what I was about to do anyway. I went on a run to the next time I was in jail on television on Black Ink.
All right, so first and foremost, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that Sky really chose herself. I'm sorry, she chose herself over her children, and now her two sons are in the world lost. At the end of the day, this woman is saying that she chose this better situation for her sons, and she's low-key blaming her mother. She's not even taking accountability for the fact that she decided to leave her children behind. Do you know how many girls that are teenagers will tell their mom, I'm not getting ready to leave my kids. I'm not getting ready to walk away from my kids because you don't think it's right for me to raise them, or because you feel like it's best for them to be raised with a better family or whatever. What could be better than me as a mother? There are several girls that are younger than Sky, that were younger than her, that have said that. I have a friend named Victoria. Okay, me and her dated the same little guy growing up. This girl literally had 3 kids by the time we were 16. She's still raising all of her 20 children right now. All I'm saying is Sky chose herself, right? So she said to Carlos King that she decided when she got out of jail that she was going to go on the run. So we know she wasn't living the best lifestyle. We know that she was struggling a little bit with the law and with life, period, just in general. She was saying that she struggled. You know, her mom was bipolar and her mom was poor. I also think that she holds the bipolar traits. I can see where she passed down some of that sickness onto her own children. She bled on her own children, and it happens. And I'm not saying that she's the worst person in the world for that, because that does happen, especially when you've dealt with a parent that has those type of ailments, right? However, we all have choices. Sky had a choice of whether or not she wanted to be a parent after she gave birth to them children, or whether or not she wanted to give them up for adoption. She did not have to do that. At the end of the day, she said, yeah. And the way she's saying it to Carlos King, like it's just cool, like, yeah, I just decided to leave. And I was going to go on the run. So, I mean, why not? These people look like they had a nice home. These are people that your children despise today. Your children despise those people. And not only that, but now they despise you, Sky, as their mother. They don't really get along with their father, but they get along with the father more than they get along with Sky, which is crazy at this point. So Dez and G. Hefner, is what Genesis calls itself online, actually now have a working relationship with their dad, when before, when they were calling themselves choosing their mom, they kind of like strayed away from their dad. Their dad was there for them throughout them growing up. And when they thought they were getting Sky back as a mom, they were willing to abandon everybody for her. The thing is that Sky has not changed. She's still selfish. She's still selfish in the way that she moves. She's still selfish in her decision making. I'm sure that Dez and Genesis don't want to keep reliving this situation over the internet. But let's back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit and go back to her being a teenager, getting pregnant, and then giving birth, and then going to jail, okay? Coming out of jail, instead of her saying, let me go get a job, let me go get some type of assistance, let me, whatever she needed to do, okay? Because at the end of the day, as I said, there's several little girls who will, okay, get this job done. She decided that it was best for her to continue to commit crimes and to go on the run. Now, what happened, Sky, at the point where you got that job working as a makeup person, or you were in the perfume section of the Macy's or something of that nature in New York? That's when you should have been reaching out to your children. Sky chose to be on this show, Black Ink Crew, to have a stable job in New York, to have an apartment, to have all these places, and still not reach out to her children. Now, what could have been holding her back? She could have felt inadequate. She could have felt like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I can't do this, I can't commit to that. Those are all selfish thoughts. When it comes to your children, it doesn't matter how much you think you're messing up. It does not matter how much you think you're inadequate. You need to get out there. You have to step out on faith. You got to get out there. And I think that is a lot of the issues that Genesis and Dez has today. Now, what I will say is I'm happy that she made some type of effort, okay? She did get out there, but she got out there with them cameras. She got out there in a way that said, I'm famous. I want to bring this to TV. I need to have a storyline. I'll probably get a spinoff show off of this, and I want to bring this to mainstream TV. Okay, she didn't get out there on her own and then introduce us to her kids and then tell us what happened behind the scenes. Now, her and Genesis fell out because Genesis flat out refuses to really forgive her. Okay, Genesis does love her. He has pictures of her posted, or a picture of her posted in 2019. That was the last time he posted about her, in regards to her being his parent, of him on her lap, and that's on his Instagram. Okay, however, Genesis is in a world lost. He doesn't talk to his father, not in that manner, but he's closer. He has some conversation with the father, just not like you would think that he would. Me as a daddy's girl, I don't understand it, but I do get that he's in a sticky situation. Okay, he has no relationship with Sky. Okay, Sky was she tried to apologize over and over again. Genesis is not ready to receive that. Now, while they've had their moments where they get together, everything's always been all about the cameras, and I think that that's the issue. Genesis wants to be a rapper, okay? He's out here lost. He's trying to make a career rapping. He's not really working. He's not doing much. He's staying, you know, with friend to friend, from couch to couch, and he doesn't really have the stability going on, okay? And I think that Genesis looked at Sky and being on TV is more of an opportunity to push his music forward. And so when he is around Sky, you'll see it. There has to be lights, camera, action for Genesis to even be around her. And then once he is around her, he wants to make a scene on camera so that he can get some movement, some type of traction, okay? He wants that motion, so he wants that smoke. And when Sky realized that, she stepped away from him in that way. And they have not been able to be around each other since. Now, with Dez decided to go live with Sky. Okay? And when Dez lived with Sky, Sky accused him of stealing weed from her. She accused him of stealing money from her. She said he was taking her car keys and driving off and going and doing God knows what. And now Dez is staying also couch to couch. He's actually staying with friends. But the difference between Genesis and Dez is that Dez actually has mental issues where he sometimes feels like the S word. He's not mentally healthy. He feels inadequate. Dez was the boy that was doing so well in high school. I gotta say, that foster family had Dez on track. He chose to do the right thing. Genesis has always been a bad boy. Dez was on track. He was doing the right thing. The moment that he got with Sky, he started going left, and he's not been able to recover since then. Now, from what I'm hearing, Dez does work odd jobs in and out, this, that, and the other. But Dez wants his privacy from these camera lights in action. Unfortunately, Sky decides to go and do an interview, and she's opening right back up this womb that these boys are trying to close. And I don't understand why she keeps living in this moment. For me, it's disgusting. For me, it's not okay. I don't agree with the fact that Sky decided to give her children away to people that was not her family. You know, she has all this family and friends and all this stuff, and then you decided, oh, these people have a pool in their backyard. I want my kids to swim. And here they go with these people that don't know them from a can of paint. Her children claim that this foster family treated them so bad that they don't want anything to do with them today. Now, Dez, even after he went back with Sky, was still calling that lady, the white lady, a mom. Well, guess what? Now he's not. He's decided not to. He doesn't want anything to do with them all of a sudden. And likewise, that foster family has written those boys off. They don't want anything to do with him as well. Now, unfortunately, Dez did end up going back to their house. And because he was a different person, when he got with Sky, he started smoking weed. He started doing other drugs. You know, so whatever he's doing, it didn't mesh well with his foster family. And they fell out. He hadn't talked to them since. And that's all that I'm saying, is that now Sky has two broken men in this world, and they are completely lost. But what I want for Sky is to stop living in this moment. I want you to do something else with yourself. It seemed like after Black Ink Crew really ended, that these people have no traction, no movement, no nothing else. And that's why you got to be careful when you acting a fool on TV, because you never know what opportunities you could have had that you're not having because you acted a fool on TV. Okay? Now, we all know Caesar ended up getting fired from the show, and the show went downhill from there. But y'all, I'm just really going to pray for Sky, Dez, and her sons at this point. This cycle that I'm seeing Sky's family go through, I've seen it in plenty families, even in some of my own elements of my own family, and it's really, really sad. Like, we need to get it together. I feel bad for Sky, but I definitely feel bad for her sons, and I'm hoping that Sky can, girl, fix your relationship with your kids, girl. Like, fix your relationship with the only two living humans you created on this earth. It's really sad. Let me know what y'all thought about Sky and her story, and I will see you on the next video.